Okay, so you're thinking about a career in adult community care work.
Hmm. Mm.
It's a field that seems to be really taking off right now,
Yeah.
and for good reason.
Yeah.
We're all living longer, and that means we need more people who are compassionate and
Hmm.
skilled
Right.
to provide care.
Yeah.
You've been doing some digging on RoleCatcher.com,
Mm-hmm.
which is a great resource, by the way,
For sure.
for anybody who's trying to learn more about different careers.
Yep.
And it looks like you're trying to get a feel for what this career really involves, like day to day.
Yeah, definitely.
So let's kind of dive into these resources and see if we can unpack that a little bit.
Okay.
The day-to-day realities, the challenges, the rewards that come with being an adult community care worker.
Yeah. And one of the things that really jumps out from these materials is how much it revolves around independence. Like it's not just about providing care, it's about empowering people to live their best lives in their own communities.
Absolutely. And that can mean so many things.
Absolutely.
It's assisting with daily activities,
Mm-hmm.
but it's also about navigating, a really complex web of social services and understanding all the different resources that are available in a community and then advocating
Right.
for your clients to help them get what they need.
Yeah, you've got it.
It's almost like being a guide and an advocate all rolled into one.
Yeah, like imagine this. You're working with someone who is recovering from surgery, but they're also having trouble getting around. Advocacy in that case could mean connecting them with physical therapy. But it also means making sure that their home is safe for them to be in
Right.
and that they can access everything they need.
It's about being their voice and making sure that they have what they need to thrive.
Absolutely.
That makes the emotional demands mentioned in the RoleCatcher guide really stand out.
Yeah.
Because you're not just, ticking things off a
It's
list.
not just logistics.
You're really connecting with people
Yeah.
on a human level, often during really challenging times in their lives.
For sure.
And as you're researching this, think about how you naturally connect with people.
That's good advice.
How do you provide support? Because those are the instincts that are going to serve you really well.
Yeah, and that's where the cons section of the guide really highlights the need for resilience.
Yeah.
This is a job where you're going to experience highs and lows. Like you'll have joyous moments when somebody regains their independence,
Yeah.
but you're also going to have those difficult conversations
Yeah.
about end-of-life wishes, and you need to be there for all of it.
Providing support through thick and thin.
Exactly.
So it's about having a big heart, but also a pretty strong backbone,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because these are people's lives.
Yeah.
And that's a huge responsibility.
Yeah,
The guide also mentions that technology is playing a bigger and bigger role in all of this.
it is.
Things like telehealth remote monitoring.
Right.
It feels like there's a whole new world of care emerging as technology changes and advances.
Absolutely. Technology is changing everything about how adult community care is delivered. And it's essential for anyone who wants to go into this field to stay current.
To stay ahead of the curve.
Yeah, take telehealth, for example.
Okay.
Being able to do remote check-ins and consultations with people
Yeah.
who have trouble getting around.
Yeah.
That is a game changer. It means that people in rural areas or people who don't have reliable transportation don't get left behind.
That's a really powerful example.
Yeah,
So it seems like this career path is a real balancing act
it is.
between high-tech tools and that very human touch.
Mm-hmm.
How do you see that playing out in the future of adult community care work?
Well, what's really interesting is that even though the technology is changing so fast, the core skills that you need for this career haven't changed all that much. You need to be service-oriented. You need to be a good communicator. You need to be able to advocate for others. Those are the foundations. Technology is just a tool.
It's the human connection that really defines this career path.
That's right.
You've really highlighted that this is about so much more than just a job.
It is.
You're not just going to work.
Yeah.
You're making a real difference in people's lives.
Exactly.
And speaking of making a difference, you've also been looking into the interview process,
Yes.
which tells me you're pretty serious about pursuing this path.
I am. Yeah, absolutely. And the fact that you're already thinking about interview questions really tells me that you get it. You understand the importance of being prepared and really connecting with potential employers.
For sure, for sure. And RoleCatcher actually has a bunch of sample interview questions,
Yeah,
which I thought was really cool.
that is helpful.
Like they give you some ideas of the kinds of things that you might be asked.
Right.
But I'm curious, from your perspective, what's the one question that really reveals whether somebody is cut out for this kind of work or not?
That's a good question. You know, you're right to focus on the why. Like, why do you want to do this? But for me, the most telling question is always, describe a time when you had to advocate for somebody else, even when it was difficult. Because the answer to that question tells you everything you need to know about their values, about their resilience, about whether they're willing to really go above and beyond for the people that they serve.
Yeah, you're not just like checking boxes
Right.
as you're thinking about your own career journey.
Yeah.
What stories come to mind?
Yeah.
Where you really had to step up for somebody like that. And RoleCatcher also does a nice job of breaking down the career path itself into different stages.
Yeah.
Which I think is helpful for somebody who's just starting out.
For sure.
They talk about an entry-level adult community care worker.
Right.
What would someone at that level be doing day to day?
So at the entry level, you'd be assisting with assessments and care management, supporting people with their daily activities like personal hygiene, meal preparation, maybe even administering medication if you have the right certifications. It's really about providing that direct hands-on care and learning from more experienced people in the field.
It sounds like a really practical starting point.
It is.
Just to kind of get your feet wet.
Exactly.
And get that real-world experience. What about moving up the ladder? What does an intermediate-level adult community care worker do?
So at the intermediate level, you're taking on more responsibility. You might be conducting those comprehensive assessments yourself, developing personalized care plans, coordinating access to community resources. It's really about connecting the dots between a person's needs and the support systems that are available to them.
So you're moving from direct care to more of a managerial and advocacy-focused role.
Exactly.
That's a pretty big shift.
It is.
What kind of skills or certifications would somebody need to make that jump?
Well, the guide emphasizes continuous learning, and pursuing certifications in specialized areas can be really valuable. Like if you become certified in dementia care, for example, that shows employers that you understand the unique challenges that people with cognitive decline face, and that you're equipped to handle more complex cases.
It really shows that you're serious about your professional development. Lifelong learning is key in this field.
Absolutely.
We're always building your knowledge base, expanding your skill set, staying ahead of the curve as new technologies emerge.
Yeah.
New approaches emerge.
For sure.
Where does this all lead?
Right.
What's the peak of the career path?
Well, at the senior level, you're talking about leadership. You're not just managing individual cases anymore. You're overseeing a team of care workers. You might be conducting really complex assessments and even engaging in strategic planning for your organization. You've really become an advocate, not just for your clients, but for your team as well.
Wow. So from hands-on care to leading a team and really shaping the future of care in your community.
It's right.
It's pretty amazing how diverse this field really is.
It is. And it's not just about climbing the ladder. It's about finding the right fit for you. Some people thrive in that direct caregiving role where they can build those one-on-one relationships.
Yeah.
Other people are passionate about leadership and creating change at a systems level.
That's a really important point.
Yeah.
Because it's not one size fits all.
Right.
You can find your niche and make a real difference.
Exactly.
However you define that. Let's be real, though. The RoleCatcher Guide doesn't shy away from the challenges.
No, it doesn't.
This is really demanding work.
It is.
Physically and emotionally.
Absolutely.
How do you know? If you're really cut out for that level of intensity, that's where self-awareness comes in. You have to be honest with yourself about your strengths and your limits, about your coping mechanisms.
This work requires a unique blend of empathy and resilience. You need to be able to celebrate the victories, but also navigate difficult emotions with grace and compassion.
Like providing end-of-life care, that's got to be incredibly challenging,
It is.
but also profoundly rewarding, I would imagine.
It can be both.
It takes a special kind of person
For sure.
to provide that kind of comfort and support
Absolutely.
during those really vulnerable moments in someone's life.
Yeah,
It sounds like you really need to have a strong support system of your own
you do.
to do this kind of work.
You can't pour from an empty cup.
What advice would you give to somebody who's just starting out and maybe feeling a little bit overwhelmed by the emotional weight of this career path?
Yeah, it's true. You do need a certain level of emotional strength. But you don't have to go alone. Seeking supervision, finding a mentor, having healthy ways to decompress and recharge. Those are all really important for anybody in a caregiving role.
Those are great points.
Even just making time for hobbies you enjoy,
Yeah,
it can make a big difference.
for sure.
You have to take care of yourself. if you want to be able to take care of others.
Absolutely. It's like they always say, put on your own oxygen mask first, right?
Right.
Before you can help anybody else.
Right.
Before we wrap things up, I want to circle back to something we talked about earlier.
Okay.
The role of technology. We talked about how it's already changing things. But what about the future? What kind of cool innovations are on the horizon for adult community care workers?
Ooh, that's a fun one to think about. There's so much potential. We've already talked about telehealth, but imagine using wearable tech to keep track of a client's activity level or their sleep patterns.
In real time.
Yeah, exactly. And then using that data to create a care plan that's even more personalized and responsive to their needs.
Wow.
It's like having this constant feedback loop, so you're always adjusting and making sure they're getting the best possible care.
That's incredible. What else?
How about mobile apps?
Okay.
Imagine an app that helps people manage their medications, keep track of appointments, even connect with their loved ones.
Yeah.
These tools can give people more control over their own health and well-being.
It's like giving them a direct line to the support they need.
Exactly.
Right in their pocket. And it's not just about empowering individuals either. Technology can also bridge the gap between care workers and families.
Totally.
Create a more connected support system for everybody involved.
Like secure messaging platforms, those could be used to keep families in the loop about their loved ones' well-being.
Which can really reduce anxiety for everybody.
Absolutely. And for care workers who are working independently, it gives them a vital link to their supervisors and their colleagues.
It's really about using technology to improve communication
Yeah.
and collaboration across the board,
For sure.
which ultimately leads to better outcomes.
Absolutely.
It really underscores the point that technology isn't just about fancy gadgets.
It's not about replacing human connection.
It's about figuring out how to use these tools to enhance and support that connection.
Exactly.
That's at the heart of this whole profession.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
It's about empowering both the caregiver and the care recipient to live
Yeah.
fuller, more connected lives.
And the best part is, we're just getting started. As technology keeps evolving, so will the role of the adult community care worker. It's a really exciting time to be entering this field, full of possibilities for people who are ready to embrace innovation and use it to make a real difference in the world.
I love that. It sounds like the future of care is all about finding that sweet spot, that synergy between cutting-edge technology and that irreplaceable human element.
Well said.
So as you continue to explore this career path, think about the role you want to play in shaping that future. What unique skills and perspectives can you bring to the table? How can you leverage the power of technology to deliver compassionate, person-centered care? This deep dive has given you a glimpse into the world of adult community care work, the demands, the rewards, and the evolving landscape shaped by technology. But at the end of the day, it's all about one thing, the opportunity to make a real difference in the lives of others. And that's pretty amazing.